Hello guys, welcome to Coffee Cozy Up. So today I'm going to be doing my first book that I read in December, which is Same Earth by Kai Miller. This is my second Kai Miller read this year, and total of 3 that I've read. And by far, he is definitely one of my favorite Caribbean author, period. He does surprise me with every book because every book is completely different. However, he does have religious influence in the story, which is not surprising when you have an island as Jamaica where there are, I forgot the square mile per that there's a church, meaning you could be on one street and there's like 3 church on the same street. So with that, there's going to be a lot of stories that's influenced by church story, church mess, church foolishness, all of that. So he did that in this. So in this story, you have a woman. Her name is Milda. Milda is, this kind of, have a moment where she could be a rebel, but then at the same time, she's really a nice woman who want changes and have been influenced by a lot of things where she is also misunderstood in the community. So she is from a community called Watersgate, and this is a community in St. Mary that is in a rural area, based in the middle of the country, in the bush. And so one particular day there was a flooding, and she decided to pack up and leave, and at this point it's when the story starts. So you are getting story going right back to when before she was conceived with her parents, and how she was conceived, and the people in the community, especially the ones that are heavily influenced by the church. And you're hearing all their stories and how she was raised, and what influence and things that she's seen from the people in her community. It also have some stories told by a pastor, and the pastor is very old, and he's now looking to pass along his responsibility to someone else, and he's telling all these people in the community that he doesn't think are fitting because of his belief, not necessarily a religious thing, but his beliefs. And in this story, you are hearing all these about these characters, and how these characters eventually become in major influence in the story. And it is very funny. I'm not even gonna lie. When you hear the Buckabush story, you laugh. These myths, you laugh. When I'm ready for talk about this, he always have this particular chapters in there where where he said, "Well, them believe," for them believe, so you laugh. So I was reading this thinking like, Lord Jesus, like, what kind of community is this? But then you think about it more, you realize, oh yeah, there's a lot of those kind of communities in the island. So as she's growing and she's maturing and things are happening, her parents decided that they wanted her to go away. They wanted her to go to England because, better opportunity, and maybe she'll come back better and can do, or maybe she'll just stay there and her life will be better. So in this case, she went, and the things that happened to her is another side of the immigration stuff that you don't hear about, and the struggle. But she is such a character, is so strong, and also a foo-foo when she's ready, because sometimes she does some foo-foo stuff. But at the same time, she there's moments where I felt like, yeah, I was so proud of her and how she handled certain situation. But it also is a story that I think has a bit of a sadness when I think about it, because oftentimes in the island, when you leave, you're not expected to return. It's expected that you go and you're never going to return. And if you do return, why are you returning? It can't be nothing positive, can't be nothing good. Why am we doing foo-foo? Why you have to return? That kind of thing. And in this book, she, the character returned, and in the returning is when all the things that she saw that she believed was the way, and it's kind of like having an insight of things and wanted to contribute to the community. But if you're not involved in the church, it's frowned upon and it's not respected, and how she's struggling with that. There's a bit of a love twist in here, but not enough where it takes away from the story, because it's not a romance novel. But there's like a character who's a Rastaman, and he's from the town, and how he transitioned from that for the things that happened to him, and how he became a Rastaman, and his influence of the drum. Oh, the drum. reading that part was, I don't know, I loved it. It's like this, how the drum made him feel and the things that happened when he played the drum. So which is homage to the Pokemon situation, where when you look a bit and they tell you about Pokemon and Poke this and you're supposed to believe is evil, or kind of this. So I love that part. But it's also a story that talks about transitioning. It's a bit of transitioning phases going on in there with the main characters and even the side characters, when they're there's like they're transitioning to, we can't talk enough, Lord. They're transitioning into things, and even their beliefs are changing. There is a sad moment in this book where I was just like, oh my God, like my culture, damn my culture. But I appreciate that he put it in the book. It was sad, but it also was realistic. It was also had that moment at the end that it influenced, and it's just yeah. I'm really not gonna talk much about this book. I think it's one of those books where I think you should just read it, because it's not easy to explain, because it's like I feel like it's like a variety show, because there's so many side characters who has their own storyline within the story, but then they also all connect in one way or the other. That kind of reaction that I have to this story. But yeah, guys, yeah, pick it up. Please read August Town. You can read this, The Wonder Woman. That's the 3 I've had. I reviewed The Wonder Woman and August Town. I will leave those in if you want to check this out. Everybody know how, if you've been on my channel, you know how I feel about August Town, because I almost jumped up my skin when I was talking about it. So that should tell you how much I love his writing style and his storyline. And this one is definitely up there. It is a treasure, and I wish people would get on the board and read more of his books, because I will be reading everything he published. Yeah, I need to get into his poetry, because if I love his writing style, I know I'm going to love more of his poetry. I haven't read that many of his poems, but I read quite a few, but not a lot. So yeah, but thanks guys for watching, and yeah, next, bye bye.